call the meeting to order. It is 1:32. It's the Laredo Center for Urban Agriculture and Sustainability meeting. It's a local government corporation created by the city, resolution number 2019R064. We have someone new who's joining us from the health department to be part of this committee. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi everybody, my name is Ariana Valdez. I started working with the health department as the WIC administrator in March. And so now I'm in this group.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
I think, maybe I shouldn't be saying this, but I think the health department is the AP department. They always do the best. They're an incredible department. Thank you for hosting us.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll call the meeting to order. The roll call is?
Okay, so Christina Duarte,
Present.
JJ Gomez,
She's proxy.
Ms. Elizabeth Carrera, okay, Federico Lizondo, present, Viviana Frank,
Present.
Roberto Gonzalez, not present, Valerie Gonzalez,
Present.
Ruby Raquel, not present, Nidia Robles, not present, Francisco Reyes, not present, Myra Hernandez, not present. So we have 5.
So we do not have quorum, but we can discuss. And there's a lot to discuss. We just can't move on anything. But many of the items have been moved on prior. So a lot of this is for discussion purposes is where we are in those motions that we've already taken. So I know several people called, they're on vacation, or they really have excused, some of these people have excused absences because of either vacation or their conferences and things like that. So I already announced who's against, so I skipped the agenda. Do you have an agenda?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Public comments?
No problem.
There's nobody here, but I still need to read right. Citizens are required to notify members of their intent to comment prior to the start of the meeting. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per speaker. No more than 3 persons will be allowed to speak on any side of an issue. Should there be more than 3 people who wish to speak on a particular issue, they need to select not more than 3 representatives to speak for them, and the presiding officer will limit the public comments. Further, in the interest of orderly meeting, speakers may not pass their minutes to any other speaker. Comments should be relevant to city business and delivered in a professional manner. No derogatory remarks will be permitted. Interim president report. Let the record show there's nobody here to do public comments. Unless, of course, our guests would like to say something. Okay.
That's it.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. I have a report on prior motions which have to do with creating the 3-year budget and service agreement that the city of Laredo would like to have, and comments on the lease and the service agreement based on the bylaws of what we can do in terms of our bylaws. This right here is a compilation of the mission and LCUAS 3-year proposed budget, and also a statement on how we're in line with the purpose and authorization of the local government that created this organization. In it as well, our City of Laredo, past City of Laredo adopted budgets from 2019 to 2024, showing that the organization in the adopted budget, not the proposed budget, the adopted budget online, it shows that LCUAS in 2019, and I can remember because I was there, in 2019 there was an adopted line item of $200,000 that would come to the organization for capacity building. In fact, if you look through the budget, there's two positions that were available for coordinator and food policy council, for programs coordinator and a food policy council coordinator. The reason that we later, I had never looked at the budget. I had only gone by what was and the advocates at the time creating this organization. We had gone to council, we had done what we were supposed to do as advocates, and that's what we understood what was coming. Later, what finally came to the organization was $125,000, which the board at the time, I was not part of the board, decided to make sure that the org was, or the corporation really, was going to be able to sustain other years with that amount of money, because that 125 was not going to be able to cover the two positions that they anticipated at the time, plus all the other things that were needed. 2020, from 2020 to 2021, nobody even thought to look under this, or even at the time, because I'm only assuming because I was not on the board then. While the organization City Makery helped create this with advocates, we did not serve on the board. So, unawares to us, the board, there was an allocation of $150,000 the following year. Nobody knew about it because it was styled under Canseco House and it lived under Keep Laredo Beautiful. So nobody, so it was like, well, where Laredo Center for Urban Agriculture and Sustainability never, it's like, well, it wasn't funded, right? Because it never came up that way. And nobody had sent anything to the board, and it just, then the following year it happened again, and these years, and I can tell you because even though I wasn't on the board, I was still advocating for and helping the organization get funded, and it ended up getting funded not through the general fund, or I guess through the general fund, but much less. And it took a lot of effort because it was funded through, I guess, like a memorandum of agreement of some sort. I'm not sure exactly how it got the $45,000 that it got, but it moved on. The following year, the same thing. It was allocated $150,000 to Canseco House for those the programs of LCUAS, but because again, it was not it did not come out, and certainly at the time. I didn't know to go look at the budgets and to see how it was. And in fact, I would have gone in and looked at it from Laredo Center for Urban Agriculture, and it would have not even come out as a search. So the reality of it is that this, according to what is posted on the budgets, the adopted budgets, there was monies allocated but never used. So that's approximately, if you look at it from the point of view of, it's like over $300,000. So that is shown in here. This is all going to go to the city manager's office so that, so here's the other problem with this organization. It was created in 2019. There was, of course, 2019 and getting started and not being part of the board, not knowing exactly what everybody was doing. Then COVID comes 2020. Then, you know, there's a lot of disruption, even, you know, on the administrative side with city managers and procedure changes because of COVID. I mean, things just, I mean, really that this organization stayed together is because of advocacy from the people who were on the board. And so it's showing a history, basically everything that's in here. It's trying to document everything based on our resolution, which, did you get a copy of it? I don't know if you were here. Okay, I just want to pass. I wanted to make sure everybody got a copy so that they could read it. There is a misconception that this organization is kind of like just a regular, I don't want to say regular, it's just, it's not what it is. While it has a 501c3, it is a local government corporation created for the governmental purpose of accomplishing all those things that are in those bylaws. We're responsible as an organization to do that, and it was created by the city of Laredo to do that, even though it works separately. That doesn't mean they have a responsive, no, that's not word. That doesn't mean that they have to fund it. It does mean that if they're interested in helping build capacity so that all those things that we're supposed to be doing, which is a lot, and it's a miracle that the amount of things that have been accomplished, even through COVID and even through all of these things. There is no other, as I understand it, there may be another local government corporation out there, but it's really the first of its kind in Laredo, and sometimes it's hard for people to explain it to other people, but it's really important that the board understand that we have a responsibility to the city to accomplish the things that are in the bylaws. And in a manner that bylaws allow us to do, because that's by statute, by state statute. Also in here, it's a long report, guys. Also in here is the 2024 agendas. Thank you for being so diligent and putting them out and sending them. Appreciate it. Programs and social media analytics. Thank you for helping me with that today. But the programs have been something that everything that we do as an organization needs to have a description of what it is. If Jose goes out and does something, you need to write what you're doing. And we've accomplished including some of the things, but he does so much more. And we have to just get into the, this is your copy. You need to follow what that is. Like you'll look at the programs. There's no, it's not like anybody who's helped in Valerie has helped a lot, but really you have the help of Google search, of Google, of ChatGPT. All you gotta do is put what you're conceptually trying to do, and it helps you organize your thoughts. It can't do it for you, but It helps, so it's really easy to do these days to be able to like pull these programs together. Doesn't mean that what comes out is exactly what you use, but it just, has anybody used ChatGPT here? Because it's pretty amazing. Anyways, but it's as amazing as you are. So if you put the stuff in there right, it'll, you know what they say, garbage in, garbage out. Right? So it's really good. So you have to read it and you have to style it better, but essentially it can help you.
It needs to be edited.
It takes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes of organization time out of writing something. So the biggest piece and accomplishment is also in here, which is the 5-year plan that was, that is a huge, I sound like sorry. It's just a huge accomplishment for the organization. And it lends as a backbone of a lot of the things that we're supposed to be doing. Amazingly enough, we've accomplished some things, even with the meager funding that we've had so far. There's a lot of goodwill and advocacy surrounding around this. And Jose, when it's up to you to document it, you have to document. And when that goodwill, that receipt, when people bring you stuff, it's all in here. Because in the end, we have to show the city that we're doing what they asked us to do. Okay? What's also in here is the resolution, because I know it's a lot of legalese and whereases and all of that stuff, but you can see in there how it was created by the city. You can see what our responsive. You can see the economic development tools that we can use. I mean, everything is in here. We can accomplish everything in that 5-year plan, plus with what the statute, the Texas statute that created this, chapter 430. I know all this stuff because I'm also a certified economic developer, so it's not like I just picked this up. This is based on tools that the state of Texas allows you to do. Chapter 431 of the Transportation Code allows you to put together these kinds of systems of organizations that help create systems, and it's oddly enough, under the transportation code. Lastly in this is the transportation code, that the statute that says everything that we can do as a local government corporation. So, and our resolution tracks this code. So, in here as well is a response to the lease agreement. There are things in here that perhaps other nonprofits have signed, but because of the kind of relationship that this organization has with the city, the way it was created, it's a little bit different. So I made some suggestions to the city attorney's office as to how this, and we had met with them, Val, myself, the councilwoman had met with them on this, because this is a pending issue. Doesn't have to be voted on, it's still pending, it's already been something that was given to us. So this is a response, and then we have to see what they say. The problem is that if we don't get the funding that we need for the capacity building, we cannot afford to be at the space or do all the things they're asking us to do, which is maintain the whole thing. And maintain the building and pay for utilities. And unfortunately in this lease it says pay for the property taxes, which of course we shouldn't have to do, because it is a city-owned building and it's a organization that is, I think a lot of this is just based on what they've given in the past, and also the service agreement that they gave us needs to track supposed to do, and that's all in there now as well. That is, this is gonna be given to the city manager, so that that him and his, and the departments can review, and I'm hoping there's enough information here that backs up everything, so that they can make a decision on how they want to move forward with the organization. I'm gonna pass this around. Well, I'll pass this one around. If you wanna just kind of strum through it, I'll pass this one over there. That one is for you. And that's my report.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So then, okay, so for the secretary's report, so before I go on further, there was a correction that needed to happen, and I made the correction, I just don't think I sent it to you, so by the next meeting, I'll have that in your hands. There was a minor correction on who called the meeting, but then this is the actual one from last time, but we can't vote on it, on approving it, since we don't have quorum. But if you all just want to take a look. Basically, a quick summary of the main things that happened is, we moved a motion for the executive director and the treasurer to meet with an accountant so that they can help us do all the financial aspects of LCUAS. And we also made a motion to approve purchasing the insurance for the volunteer and board. And I did actually get in contact with one of the representatives there, and she gave me some information. She's open to meet with us. Her name is Claudia Povolano, and she's with the TML Insurance Group. I did want to ask, one of the pieces of information we would need is the number of volunteers. I guess they base it on like the number that we get and then an hourly rate. And then I don't know what the number, the contribution from the financial contribution on our end has to look like, but I did want to ask you, Jose, I guess like on the upper end, what on average, how many volunteers does LCUAS get? Like what's the highest amount of volunteers?
It all depends, because every season, every August, I open up the registration form
No,
again.
it's in the book. I think there's.
There's a section on there with.
There's like, some of them are repetitive.
Yeah,
But.
I think maybe all at one time, like the most amount of volunteers at one time.
At one time there,
Yeah.
okay.
That's what I think would be.
Well, 18 was one,
Yeah, and it
So-
all depends on the day,
Yeah.
so it's 18, say 18 to
Yeah,
25.
let's say, for example, next Saturday, we have an event, a workshop, and we expect about 20 people,
Okay,
20 EADs,
okay,
speakers.
So-
They will count as volunteers since they will be inside
the premises.
the premises.
Okay, I'll go ahead and let them know, and then, I'm planning to just coordinate a Zoom meeting. Is there anybody who wants to be a part of that? It's just with the TML, it's not a requirement, but again, just.
I'll be happy with it.
Yeah, okay.
And two.
Same for me.
Okay,
I can be on it as well.
okay, perfect.
You can include me, the more I participate, the more I'll learn.
Okay, so that's pretty much all I have for the secretary's report. I will need to meet, or next time we meet, and we have quorum, we'll need to approve, I guess, 3 minutes. Oh, well, will we need minutes for this meeting?
Yes, even though
Okay.
we don't,
have any
there's no
motions?
motions,
Yeah.
it's just who was here, who wasn't.
Okay, so, well, next time we'll approve, or we'll, motion to approve the one that had the correction on who called the meeting to order, this past one that was in May, and then this current one that's in June. So we'll have a lot, from my secretary's report next time, but that's pretty much it on my end.
Thank you. Treasurer's report, we're gonna have to, I think, defer because Roberto's in here unless he sent something in, do you know?
He did it.
No. I do know one thing, he's been talking to the accountant who, Jackie Hinojosa, who has said that she would work with the organization. And she would essentially be, our bookkeeper. And she would work with the person who would essentially do the auditing for us, of all of that towards the end of the year. Like, putting everything together and then giving something to us, which is Mr. Jordan. That's basically, that's what he said. So there's movement there. They have spoken. Probably at the next meeting, there'll be something that we can do, and hopefully by then we'll know the kind of funding that we have in place to be able to move forward with those contracts. Executive Director's report.
Good afternoon. It's been a super active month so far, and if you'll remember, in our last meeting, I mentioned about a grant opportunity that we were working on. It falls on number 2, environmentally appropriate landscaping. So between RISC and LCUIS, we both collaborated and we successfully applied to this grant opportunity sponsored by HEB. That is called Race for Texas Grant.
I don't have that in there. Sorry.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to send me, just so I don't forget, you have to send me all your reports so that I can include it in this.
Okay, I just the report
Thanks.
right? Yeah. So we successfully applied. We called the project Roots of Resilience, rolling together, one tree at a time. And basically this project, what we are asking is for $5,000 to buy 20 trees that hopefully we get the funds, we will plant them on site in Canseco House. I'm asking for 8 live oaks, mature, and 12 citrus trees to increase our fruit orchard on site. So we applied on June 7th. Also, we were invited by the Laredo Fair to participate at the kids' summer camp last week. We had an iteration. I presented to 44 children who attended the session. And I took a little bit of theory, but also we had a hands-on activity where kids were able to plant a seed, take that pot home, but also we demonstrated how to transplant seedlings so that when the plants are ready, they can do it at home. That happened on June 12th. On June 15, we were invited also by RISC to be sponsors on their annual meeting. So we sponsored 10 plants from our greenhouse, our very own greenhouse, for their silent auction, and those plants were all sold. We gave them tomato plants, chile piquin plants, and habanero plants. But on Saturday, we are scheduled to have a workshop in partnership with the Montemucho Audubon Society, and this is part of the Zacate Creek Field District Coalition. We will have a presentation about soil health and gardening, and the other half of the presentation is about basic bird watching. That's something else that we will have in 2 days. In terms of the Laredo Farmers Market, this is the first time of the year that we were not participating, and there's a reason behind that. I extended my invitation to all my volunteers, my core volunteers, my helpers, like Ruby and Nelly and Sochi, but they were all on vacation or busy at that time. So I decided to stay at the garden. I had 2 young helpers, and we stayed at the garden to continue working the garden on that day. The relationship with the Texas Food Bank is being awesome. Last Friday, they donated a pallet of flower bowls. The fun part was to go and get the pallet. The not so fun part was to unload everything on site. It took us like 2 hours to unload the truck. And here you can see the flyers where our logo has been posted. And that's all I have to report right now.
Are there any questions? So, can you please, right after this, you need to send me a folder, send it to her, and to me. A folder of, since January, each one of these, okay? So I can stick it in this thing. I guess we don't need a motion to move on, since there's nothing to, okay, we don't have anything for executive session, so city secretary updates, renewal, do we know what that's about?
Yes, that is about the attendance that we were sent over.
Okay.
Basically, our board members, some of them are up for renewal based on attendance and just general information that, like you mentioned, sort of got lost in between all the transitions. I believe you have the name.
So, yes, and hopefully what's going to happen is if, once we get this over to the city manager's office and we understand where we are, we can also, because there are things that we need to report to the city council, we need to give them our suggested list of people to be on the board. They can change them, they can accept them, and then they would run according, their terms would run according to this, and we need to do that every year. So, that's coming up. We'll probably have some information by the next meeting on all of that. Accountant and bookkeeper update, well, I think I just gave it during the treasurer's report. Were there any questions on that? Food Policy Council, has there been a meeting set?
So we have a meeting set for June 27th at 4 p.m. After this meeting, I can send you all the invite if you're able to attend. It also has been a busy month, or last month, for us as well. We've been doing collaborations with the Farm Bill Advocacy Group. On the 31st, we had a press release. And then on the 5th as well, we had an interview with KGNS to further discuss what that looks like in our community. We're also collaborating with El Rio Es Vida Coalition. Still sort of waiting how that develops and how we can better assist them as well as advocates. But yes, our update is for June 27th at 4 p.m.
Next week, right?
Next Thursday, yes. We'll be discussing hopefully coalition or committees for the events that we have coming up.
Discussion, any questions? So moving on. Discussion to approve name change for Lucas. I think we've approved the name change. It's just, it falls on me to go into the Secretary of State and do the actual DBA. I promise I will get it done. Okay. That's my fault. I just haven't, had the time to go and do the paperwork. Any comments on that? We're still moving forward with that, right? Because we all say Lucas. Okay. Which means light, by the way. Okay. Discussion with possible action regarding city funding. Well, we've gone through this already, so all we're doing is turning in the information that they need to start looking at how they're gonna fund, what they're gonna fund in this organization. So there's nothing to discuss really at this point until we get an answer from the government on this. I do feel that there's two things, and just to wrap up, I do think that I think there's goodwill by the city manager's office for this. At the same time, I think that because of all the intervening years and all the issues and all the stuff that's happened, and since this was created, there's not enough people who understand what this is. And so there's a kind of misconception of that this is like a 501c3 organization, like every other organization, 501c3 organization that works with the city on different memorandums of agreements that they may have for either third-party funding from the city or from hotel motel fund. And this isn't that. So there's like that's, and I understand why they think that way. So the more people read the resolution and the bylaws and are able to explain what this is, the more we'll be able to help other people in the city understand what the structure is of this org and what we're supposed to be doing. So it's two things, and as soon as if there's a meeting that comes up, everybody on the board will be invited to attend, and we can have that meeting. And then we'll be able to discuss the funding for this and where we can go, and hopefully it's all gonna move forward very well. I have to tell you, just, you know, the funding that comes available for this is just not gonna be able to build capacity for this organization. It's just, everybody is overworked. And he's really the only person who is employed by the organization. And everything else is when people have time, or, you know, you just can't do what we're supposed to be doing without that. So, however, even with that, because AEP has given us grants and there's been monies that are coming in from different places to do some program work, but we don't have capacity, so, to do much more. Okay. Does anybody want to? I feel like I'm taking the stage, the oxygen out of the air. No questions? Our guest? No?
Not right now.
Okay. Well, with that, I guess we can move to adjourn. Is that, are we good?
Yes.
Okay. Everybody in favor
2 to 12.
Unopposed?